I'm Felicia,
And I'm Ian.
and we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of The Paranormal Lovers.
Hey guys,
Hey, guys.
thanks for joining us back for another week, episode 111.
111.
111. Every time I say that, it makes me think of 311,
Makes me think of James Bond. Like,
007.
I'm Agent 111.
James Bond, 007. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's get the business out of the way before Ian regales us with whatever tale he has today.
That's a good one.
We will be at Haywood County Pride on Main on June 28th.
Come and see us.
Come see us. It's a Saturday. And again, Haywood Pride on Main. It's on Main. Come to Main. My store within reach will also have a pop-up shop there that day. And we support victims of domestic violence. So you guys, either one, come give us some money. Go give them some money. Maybe give us both some money.
For sure.
That'd be nice. Appreciate that.
Support your local community.
Support local. If you are interested in learning the history that is currently being erased, give our show Rethinking Our History a listen. 30 episodes now. 30. About
Ooh.
cool people, bad people, shitty government, more shitty government, more shitty government.
Mostly bad history.
Mostly shitty government history.
But some good history, too. Like the washing the hands guy. That was cool.
Ignaz Semmelweis.
Yep.
Ignaz Semmelweis. And Martin Coney, the guy that saved all the premature babies.
And the one you just did, Lawman Bass Reeves.
Bass Reeves. Ugh, love him. Also, what up, Tony Baker, if you ever listen to this. Hi. Sorry.
Our kid's playing Gorilla Tag.
I don't know if y'all can hear her in the background. She makes some weird noises sometimes.
And Gorilla Tag done pissed me off.
Oh my God. Hang on. We'll do it. And what do we love?
Okay.
We'll get there. If you would please be so kind, give us a follow and share on social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We also have videos of our shows on YouTube. To find us on any of these platforms, just search for The Paranormal Lovers in the search bar. If you would like to support the making of these shows, we have a couple ways to do so. First, we have our merch shop over at theparanormallovers.threadless.com. See my shirt? That's where it came from. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/theparanormallovers, where for $5 a month, you get early access to unedited videos of both shows, as well as stickers and other swag.
And our movie thing never happened.
No, because we still haven't got to 20 Patreons. We still got one.
We got one.
Love you, Chrissy.
Thank
we got
you, Chrissy.
one. And finally, if you have any personal stories, be it true crime, paranormal, or historical, or you have a topic request, email us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. So what did you love about this week?
That's a tough one. I got a hat. I got a free
nice hat
from work.
That's a nice hat too. They do
Love
good.
that.
They do. They do good and hand out some nice stuff every once in a while.
Yeah. What did you love about this week?
I know we're both like, it's been a long week. I don't know, man. It was hard. Patty was out because she had fifth disease.
Yep.
Which is like the parvovirus for humans.
Yep.
Not the same thing as animals. It's not contractable. None of that stuff. But it's just like, I don't know. Now she's like looking all rough and stuff again. And I'm kind of like, oh, God, bless America.
Yeah.
I guess I got some good shit at work this week.
Yeah.
That was nice. But I know you want to bitch about Gorilla Tag for a minute, so
yeah. So my kid logged on to Gorilla Tag yesterday to just play around some, and it like drops her off in a horror update. Like, so the main like login spot for Gorilla Tag is like this treehouse. It's all happy, shiny, sunshiny, like gorillas, bugs, and like I don't know, just
it's cute.
It's cute. It's a cute kids game. But it drops her off and the whole treehouse is blacked out and like all the stuff inside's broken, and you go outside and there's this picnic table down below, and you go to the picnic table and there's a chalkboard that says come closer. When you come closer, it gives you a scary message, starts doing like this scary breathing sound, like and it scared the ever living crap out of her. And I want to know, Gorilla Tag developers, why? Like, why are you dropping all these kids off in this scary atmosphere? Like,
Yeah.
it was a forced thing for every person that logged into Gorilla Tag and updated that day. And
Yeah, and I mean, this is a
That's
game
crazy.
it's rated E for everybody. Like I literally looked up the rating
Yep.
this morning, and it said it has mild violence in it.
Yeah.
Nothing about horror, nothing about extreme fear, none of that.
no,
And I mean, at least give them the option.
yeah, like
Like
Make
give
it
them the
like-
option.
make it like to where you could go into it, but you like have to go somewhere else to go into it, not like just dropping you in there. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's insane. So,
I bet it scared a bunch of kids across the U.S. Like,
or all over the world.
shame on you, Axiom. Shame on you.
Seriously, that was real messed up, man. Don't do that shit. Be scaring the kids.
Right.
All right. So, what do you got for us this week?
All right, I got a good one for us this week. So I got a question for you to open it up.
Okay.
What does Snoop Dogg, Sublime, and the world's most haunted ship have in common?
Weed?
Long Beach.
Oh. Weed? Is there weed on the
mean,
ship?
Maybe. It is docked at Long Beach Harbor in California. So
I mean-
there's probably some weed on there.
I know that's what Snoop Dogg and Sublime have in common. So,
But yeah, parked at the harbor in Long Beach, California, is one of the world's most haunted ships, the Queen Mary.
oh shit! I've heard about her.
Right.
I go.
In 1928, the U.S. was suffering from the Great Depression. Something we should probably cover on our history podcast.
Why? We're gonna all experience it.
Right. Well, that's what I was about to say, seeing as how we're returning to the Great Depression on our own device.
We're trying to tell people history, but they don't want to listen.
Right. In the 1920s, the Cunard Line was ready to retire their 3 ocean liners, the Mauretania, the Aquitania, and the Bergengeria, which were making voyages in the transatlantic for at least 15 years before 1920. In 1928, the Cunard Line set forth to build 2 glorious ships, one that no one had ever seen before, 2 cutting-edge ocean liners. In May of 1930, John Brown and Company, Ltd., set out to build one of these ships. In December, construction started on job number 534. That's crazy.
That's a lot of
That's a lot of
ships.
ships to be building.
Which, if you think about it, I guess airplanes weren't really a thing then.
Nope, they sure weren't.
Now you think about it, and they're building like 538 airplanes that are just flying around over our heads
Yeah.
whenever.
At the start of the Great Depression in the UK, in 1931, construction halted on the Queen Mary because it was actually being built there, leaving 9 finished stories of the ship, and then it was only about like 80% finished. They ran out of funding, and construction was paused for over 2 years. The Cunard Line decided out of necessity to join forces with the White Star Line, which is the same company who constructed the Titanic,
Oh,
a
great.
famous ghost ship. Also a famous ghost ship,
A ghost ship.
right?
It's gone. It's at the bottom of the ocean. We know where it's at.
Right.
I know what you mean, though.
The merger of these 2 companies produced the Cunard White Star Line Ltd. So they just
Smushed it
smushed
together.
their names together. They then were able to get the North Atlantic Shipping Bill passed and were able to secure 4.5 million pounds to finish construction or constructing the Queen Mary
Damn.
from, the king. They also got 5 million pounds to construct their second ship. On May 11th, 1934, construction on Job 34 resumed until it was finished and needed a name. The Cunard Line was pushing for the ship to be named Victoria until a representative from the Cunard Line met with King George. The representative told King George V that they were planning on naming the ship after one of England's greatest queens, Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
To which George replied, "My wife would be delighted that you are naming the ship after her."
Oh, yeah, she'll love it.
The Cunard Line decided then and there that the ship would be called the Queen Mary.
Because you don't piss off the king.
Yeah, I mean, he was paying for the whole thing anyway, so.
I love that. He's like, oh, really? My wife would love that. Thank you for putting our name on that thing. We're funding for you. Thanks. How about that?
On September 26th, 1935, the ship was christened by Queen Mary with George in attendance. The Queen made a speech saying, "I am happy to name this ship the Queen Mary.
Please don't
I
do
wish
that.
success to
No.
her and all who sail her."
No, don't do voices. That's terrible. I don't like it. Don't do it. No.
Sorry. That's just instinct from reading with Patty.
It's funny too because it made me think of like the audiobooks. They do that in the audiobooks, and I cringe sometimes when it's men doing female voices. I'm like, oh God, make it stop.
They had to wait a couple of days for the boilers to get there. They were installed, the final touches were made, and the ship was ready to sail. On May 26, 1936, the ship set out on its maiden voyage. It sailed from Southampton, England to Cherbourg, France. Picked up some passengers there, and then made its way across the Atlantic to New York City.
New York City.
New York City. The ship at this time was state of the art and boasted about its many amenities.
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 I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of you, but that was funny. Amenities.
This was a luxurious ocean liner. It had a library, a gymnasium, a squash court, a ballroom, a hospital, and 2 swimming pools.
Woo! Sounds like the Biltmore House.
Sounds like a cruise ship. That's kind of what they're like.
Yeah, I guess these are like the precursor to the cruise ship.
Yep. The ship measured over 1,000 feet long and was the first British vessel to exceed 1,000 feet. It weighed over 81,000 tons. That's a lot of pounds.
It's like 1,600 and 2,000 pounds.
Yep.
Or 162,000 pounds.
Yep. And had a cruising speed of 28.5 knots. Pretty dang fast.
That is pretty fast for that time.
Even though it was slightly slower than her rival ship, the French line's Normandy. The craftsmanship used to build Queen Mary was amazing. It was built in the Art Deco style, and they used 50 different types of wood for the paneling inside and in different places on the ship, like the railings and stuff. It earned the nickname Ship of the Woods. On September 1939, right in the middle of one of the ship's crossings of the Atlantic, World War II started. The Queen Mary finished its trip to New York and was immediately commandeered by the U.S. military.
Yep.
It was converted into a transport ship for soldiers. during World War II, the Queen Mary carried around 15,000 troops during a single crossing.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
That doesn't
Like-
seem. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I bet they look like fucking slaves packed in that bitch.
It seems like they just jam-packed people until they were like, oh, we can't fit no more,
Pretty much.
and then just sent them on their way.
See, people, some regulations are good for us to have.
It actually broke a record by carrying 16,683 people on one voyage in
Jeez.
1943.
Yeah, that's too many, man.
Way too many. It would go on to transport around 800,000 service members during the war. The Queen Mary was able to hit speeds of 32 knots, making her the fastest ship in the war, and given her capacity, was also the biggest ship. The ship's abilities, we so well know at the time that it made Adolf Hitler, or ship's abilities were so well known at the time that it made Adolf Hitler himself jealous.
Oh, I bet.
It was rumored that he offered a reward to any U-boat captain that could bring her down. There were no reports of anyone ever trying, but also the ship was so fast that it could outrun and dodge German torpedoes. Even though the ship was the fastest ship in the war, the Queen Mary wasn't impervious from damage. In 1942, its captain made a fatal mistake involving another smaller boat, the HMS Curacao. On the 2nd of October, 1942, the Queen Mary was sailing off the Irish coast. She was running a zigzag pattern to avoid German U-boats and long-range bombers, and was on a course to overtake her smaller escort boat, the Curacao. So they were kind of sailing beside each other. Seaman Ernest Watson was watching the Queen Mary sail by from the Curacao when he noticed that the ship was turning toward them. He was alarmed when the Queen Mary had completely turned toward them and was on a heading that would intersect with them. Watson panicked as the ship came closer. He let out a scream, "She's going to ram us!" But by then, it was too late. The Queen Mary was on top of them while the rest of his mates watched in shock. The Queen Mary, traveling at top speed when it crashed into the Curacao, The Queen Mary, being 20 times larger, made quick work of the smaller vessel. It sliced through its 10-centimeter armor plating. You would think that the captain of the Queen Mary would have turned around and saved some of the troops from the Curacao,
You think?
but no, the captain was under strict orders to not stop for any reason, leaving the troops of the Curacao in the freezing waters 20 miles off the Irish coast. He did, however, signal nearby British ships to go get and rescue the survivors of the crash, which is okay.
I mean,
that's fine.
Loda, you always say you
But-
don't have to do everything. You just got to do something.
Right. They split their ship in half, though.
I mean,
Damn.
oops.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been in the way, I guess.
Of the 430 men aboard the Curacao, only 99 of them survived. The accident claimed around 330 lives.
That's a lot.
At the time of the crash, the U.S. covered it up
Shocker.
due to wartime security.
Mhm.
They didn't want.
They don't want people to know
People
that
knowing.
they're fucking up.
Yep. It took 4 years in the courts to resolve the case, figure out who was at fault.
Mhm.
The Queen Mary gained another nickname from being painted all gray during the war for camouflage. They called her the Gray Ghost. After World War II, it took them 10 months to retrofit the Queen Mary. They turned her back into the luxury ocean liner that she once was.
Mhm.
On July 21st, 1947, she went on her first post-war voyage and went to make and went on to make transatlantic voyages for the next 20 years until the 1950s and the 60s rolled around, and traveling by air became more popular, as you mentioned before.
Yeah.
As a result, the Queen Mary made her final voyage on October 31st, 1967. She sailed to Long Beach, California, where she was docked, and in December was turned into a hotel,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of cool.
I know. I was looking. It's not that expensive to stay there.
Sweet. Maybe we'll have to go.
Like, if we go to California, we should just stay at the Queen Mary for a week.
Yeah, that would be dope.
It's only like $250 a night. It's not for a family suite.
And it's on Long Beach.
For a family suite, it's $250 a night.
Right.
That's not bad.
No, that's
Not
not
cheap as shit.
She also became a popular tourist attraction. From 1936 to 1967, the RMS Queen Mary sailed the ocean seas, making transatlantic crossings. It made 1,001 ocean crossings before coming back to the U.S. and docking in Long Beach. It would go on to transport 2.2 million passengers at that time. With so many passengers over the years, it's no surprise that 47 people have died aboard the RMS Queen Mary. It is now permanently docked in Long Beach, California, where it serves as a destination for tourists to visit and stay. Given its eccentric history, there's I like doubled up some of my notes.
Mhm.
There is said to be around 150 spirits that haunt the Queen Mary.
All right.
Some believe that they have figured out who a couple of the ghosts are. The deaths even began before the ship was even constructed. One was on June 5th, 1934. He was a construction worker that was working on the Queen Mary. His name was Malcolm Etkin, and he died by falling from the scaffolding that surrounded the ship during its construction. That'd be scary.
Yeah, no, thank you. You know me, heights, no.
Right. Because, it's probably 15 stories or
I mean,
something.
you're talking about like an 8-story ship at minimum.
At
that's
that time,
just
yeah.
that's just like the story. Like, you know what I mean? There's like extra shit too. You're like talking about like stacks and stuff. No,
Right.
It's like over 100 feet.
Yeah.
I ain't going.
Another was on June 8th, 1936. He was a crew member named Arthur John Francis Golding. He died on the first maiden voyage of the Queen Mary. He seemed to have died from a fractured skull while the
Ouch.
Queen Mary was on its way back from the UK. Another died on the ship's final voyage. Leonard Hirschberg. He became ill during the final voyage and suffered a heat stroke, and finally died from hemorrhage.
Mm.
The ship was just passing the coast of Rio de Janeiro at the time and would wind up docked at Long Beach. There are lots of paranormal happenings on the Queen Mary. People have heard disembodied voices, strange noises, and have seen apparitions aboard the ship. So there's many of them, but one in particular sticks out more than the others do, and that would be the haunted room of B340. The room was where the passenger Walter J. Adamson died in 1948. They never really found out what killed Walter, and his death had been ruled no cause of death, which is just really weird. Like, you don't know what killed him. Shortly after his death, in room B340, reports started coming in of the room being haunted. Before the ship's docking in Long Beach, a woman was staying in B340 during a voyage and awoke one night and claimed to see a shadowy figure standing at the end of her bed.
Nah, dude, I'm good.
The shadowy figure then yanks the sheets off the bed
Motherfucker.
after she awoke and then seemingly dissipated into the air.
I'd be like, bitch, don't fuck with my sleep. Could you imagine a ghost
That'd be
trying to
horrifying.
fucking with my sleep? Me, you know how I am when people fuck with my. I sent you that thing the other day. Was like when my wife wakes up on her own, she's all like, the chick from Moana, and then it's like when I wake her up and she's the fire bitch from Moana. So like, fuck around, ghost, to find out.
Right.
I dropped my vape.
Oh no.
Oh no. I don't know where it went. Son of a bitch. See, I need to get that wine and crime shit that says where the fuck's my vape. Because holy shit.
I'll give you a second.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, people, I'm an addict. Leave me alone. It could be worse. It could be meth.
So the ghost would yank the sheets right off the bed.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
I forgot I'll punch you in your ghostly face.
the hauntings aboard the ship have increased in reports now that the ship is a floating hotel.
Mm.
Guests have reported that sinks and tubs in room B340 have a mind of their own,
Oh,
turning
bitch.
on and off with nobody in the room.
See, I was thinking, oh, we should stay in that room when we go. But you talking about water. You also know me and water. I have issues with water. I ain't fucking with water shit, okay?
They say that the lights will flicker or turn on and off by themselves as well. They have
Woo.
They have reported the bathroom and closet doors moving on their own, which on a ship, depending on sea conditions,
Right, yeah.
I could see that. Like, I've had that one happen to me while I was on a cruise ship. All night long, just bang, bang. Like,
I'd be like
Jesus.
taping that bitch open or something.
Like, you figure they would have latches, but
You would
no.
think.
They also say that there's an entity that knocks on the door as well. He just comes and knocks and he's gone.
No, motherfucker, stop.
The staff of the ship say that they struggle to make the bed in that room, saying that the bed sheets would be pulled off the bed right after they make it.
What is his problem
So
with the
fucking
bed?
frustrating.
I'd be like, motherfucker, you want to stay here? The least you can do is clean shit up, not tear shit up. Okay, do some fucking dishes.
Right. Some of the stories of room B340 have turned into an urban legend. As the legend goes, a man murdered 2 women while on a voyage in the Queen Mary. He locked himself in room B340 until the ship had arrived in New York. When the police boarded the ship and finally broke the door to room B340, the man had been brutally murdered.
Mm.
The weirdest part was that there was nobody else in the room. A different version of the same story has circulated, saying that it was a man that killed his 2 daughters in room B340, and when the wife of the man found out, she murdered her husband in the room.
Oh yeah, people just killing all their kids. Why people killing all these kids?
Well, you know how the password game goes.
I do.
And
Yeah.
it's like that's kind of how urban legends are formed.
But I'm like, why do the urban legends always have to do with people killing their kids?
I don't know.
Why?
I know what you did last summer.
God.
You can stay in room B340, even though the management of the hotel kept it closed off for 30 years. They reopened it on Friday the 13th of April 2018 after doing renovations to the room, of
Oh,
course.
don't do renovations. Y'all, if you buy a house and it's haunted, don't renovate it because you're
Right.
going to piss off the spirits.
In 2020, the ship closed its doors for 3 years, probably because of COVID.
Rona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know the way air circulation is in ships like this, they're like all connected.
Yeah.
And so like the air from one room goes into the other room and so on until it circulates the whole ship.
You just giving me more and more reason to not want to go on a cruise. I don't want to be breathing in other people's germs.
I mean, that's the way it is.
Gross.
But That's why a lot of cruise lines didn't sail in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
The ship's management even leans into the room being haunted. They put out tarot cards, a crystal ball, and even the dreaded Ouija board.
Oh, fucking eight. See, we'll stay there. Patty can stay with Ariel because I don't need her around the Ouija board.
So they put all that in the room for guests to contact the spirits.
Nice.
They have left instructions in the adjoining bathroom on how to summon the infamous Bloody Mary.
Oh, bitch. Why are you trying to fuck with that bitch?
They also let guests write their experiences on the room's wall to add to all the creepiness of the room.
That's a bit much.
Room B340 isn't the only place on the ship that has reported hauntings. On July 10th, 1966, the crew of the Queen Mary was doing a routine safety drill, and then an 18-year-old named John Petter was one of the members participating in the check. He was tending to the ship's bilge pump when the safety check started. All the alarms go off and stuff. John was trying to get to the top deck when a watertight door on the D deck closed before he could get his whole body through it. When the other crew members found him stuck in the door, the only visible signs of injury was blood running down his nose. After the door was released, John died a little later in the ship's hospital.
Yeah, you can't survive that.
No, it chopped him in
Crushes
half.
all your internal organs.
Yeah, squished him like a bug.
Yeah, because if they're saying the only sign of injury was the blood coming out of his nose, then it's just everything inside just went.
Yeah, that was a horrible death.
Horrible fucking way to die. Oh my God. Shoot me now.
Right.
Like, you see me stuck in a door. You know I ain't going to survive this shit. Put me at my misery.
Yeah. They say that John's spirit remains near door 13. Reports came in a few years later after John's death of a nighttime security guard and his German Shepherd. The security guard was doing his checks when the German Shepherd became spooked while approaching door 13. Both him and the dog heard a loud clanking sound moving toward them, causing both of them to get the heck out of there.
Hell yeah, I'm out. Animals know, man.
Yep.
They know. That's why when Star starts her shit staring at the ceiling, she been doing a lot lately. I'm like, what the fuck are you looking? What the fuck is up there?
Right.
There's nothing fucking up. And she's just all like, I'm like, bitch, go outside.
Y'all gotta watch this on YouTube.
For real.
They say the ghost chases you out of the area. One woman even seen a man standing by the door and then later identified the man to be John by seeing his picture. So, like, she actually seen him.
That's got to be such an unnerving experience.
It's
You
gotta
see this
be.
dude, you think, oh, there's a dude going about your day, do. And then you see this picture and they're like, this dude was squished to death by a door on this shit. And you're like,
I've seen him.
but I saw that motherfucker earlier. He was fine. The fuck you talking about?
Right.
Surreal.
Another haunted area is the ship's salon, which is used to be the ship's lounge. For years, people have claimed to have seen the Lady in White. She has been seen dancing there. She happens to be the most popular and most seen ghost since the ship's conversion to a hotel.
If there's anybody out there that's sitting there going, okay, a salon is where you get your hair done. No. Back in the old days, they call their little fancy parlor lounge area the salon.
Right.
You'd go sit in the salon and have drinks and smoke cigars and blah, 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 blah. I know there's
Right.
some like youngin' out there going, she's dancing around in a fucking hair salon? What? Yeah, bitch is just twirling in the cuttings.
Another spot that guests claim to be haunted is the Queen Mary swimming pool. Claims include hearing splashing coming from the pool, when no one is there. Wet footprints appearing from around the pool, all when the pool has no water.
Just like Biltmore.
Yep.
Biltmore has the same,
Same
shit
claims.
happening in their pool, and it's been empty for decades.
Years. Yep. The pool was drained years ago. There's also been reports of a woman and young girl wearing 1930s swimwear in the pool area.
You can see her ankles.
A young girl named Jackie has been said to have haunted the pool area for years. It is believed that she had drowned in the pool, even though no one has been put on record of ever drowning there.
Mm-hmm.
Guests claim to hear Jackie talking and laughing near the pool. These claims have even been backed up from a well-known psychic. Several psychics and ghost enthusiasts claim that the ship has a spiritual vortex aboard. One they say is located in the boiler room, calls Freddy.
Mm.
Joking. The boiler room is where the body of a man named John Henry was found. Many people have captured video of apparitions and captured EVPs in this area. The second vortex, they say, is located in the dressing room beside the pool area. One psychic says the hallway leading to the dressing room is the center of the spiritual vortex of the whole ship. Reports from guests that have passed through there say they get dizzy and have gotten goosebumps in the hallway. There have been many TV shows featuring the famous ship. Zach Bagel Bites has even explored the area and claimed to catch EVPs and even seen John Petter at Door 13. YouTuber Jake Weber spent the night aboard the ship in 2023. Another YouTuber, FaZe Rug, spent the night in room B340 in 2024. And That's Why We Drink even investigated the ship for their show. Many famous people have been aboard the ship as well. Fred Astaire, Audrey Hepburn, Clark Gable, many political figures, Jackie O, Winston Churchill, and the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. The famous ship will go down in the history books as one of the United States' most haunted places. And that was the story of the Queen Mary.
I'm chuckling because I get, Googling stuff about the Queen Mary and there's reviews. I love to read reviews, right?
Right.
I knew it was old, but like I said, we were warned that it was old, but I guess I just wasn't prepared. Bitch, it's a ship from like the 1920s. What the fuck?
Right.
It's 100 years old.
Yeah.
All right. Some people are just absolutely insane. I want to see what other bad
They
reviews
expected
there are about it.
to be like luxury or something.
I guess they just wanted. They weren't
Luxury then
expecting
is
it
not
to
luxury
be
now, guys.
unless
you're at the Biltmore House.
Let's see, April 2015. They were in 2009. They were fascinated. Blugga, 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 blugga.
Although
blugga.
some things at the Biltmore House, I'm like, that's not so luxury anymore.
Yeah.
You know
Avoid
what I mean?
the ghost tour. Visit, but do not stay. The Queen Mary, visit, but don't stay. Bait and switch. Yeah, I don't like the additional parking for $30 a day either. That's some
No,
bullshit.
that sucks.
They did that to me at the Planters in Savannah.
Yeah.
When I went down there with her last year, the year before last, it was $30 a day to park my car in the garage next door.
Right.
I paid it. It's like, I ain't trying to fucking find a parking spot in downtown Savannah. You kidding me?
Yeah.
But like, it'd been nice to know that beforehand.
Yeah.
Thanks.
For sure.
But then again, it was also really nice to be able to be like, go down and be like, I would like my car, please.
Yeah.
And then you just wait, and this man just brings you your car, and you're just like, thanks. That's so nice. All right. Well, thank you for doing that one. That's actually a story I've heard probably a few times, several times at this
Yeah.
point, but it's
sure you have.
always fascinating to hear it again.
Yeah.
I love anytime I see something like that I know about. I'm like, oh yeah, let me hear their take on this subject. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That one was fun. I want to go visit. Maybe not stay.
Me too.
I don't know. One review said there was only 2 outlets in the room, and I'm like, I got to see that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.